I mentioned in the beginning of the Mass the focus of self. We are all familiar with the cell phones. We don't have flip phones anymore, sorry. Wonderful technology. You can take pictures of things you see, but you can also, there's a feature where you can take a selfie. Some people don't like selfies. I'm totally addicted to selfies. Okay? To the point where I even have my own selfie stick and simply attach it to my phone, extend it, turn around, and take a picture. Self-focus could be dangerous. It could be to the point where we become egocentric, narcissistic. If you have some annoying friends on Facebook, you know that every single morning they put a picture of their new makeup, even though they look exactly the same. But you like it because you have to, because you're their friend. Egocentric, narcissistic, focus on self. I think similar happened to the apostles, as we heard in today's gospel. They're journeying with Jesus from Galilee, going to Capernaum, walking with him, admiring his great work, thinking in the back of their heads, one day I'm going to do the same because he told me so. He said I'm going to forgive the sins. He told me I'm going to perform miracles. It all gets to their heads. And what happens? The focus is on themselves. They forget about real focus of ministry, of love. So Jesus gently reminds them what the real focus of ministry is. He doesn't call them Satans this week. He's pretty gentle. Last week there were Satans, not this week. Why does he do that? Well, apostles are what I would call today career apostles. As we have career politicians, we have also career apostles. It gets to their heads. They already divided the departments. Well, Simon carries a sword, right? Department of Defense. We have Judas responsible for money, Department of Treasury. We have James and John constantly with Jesus, so they must be thinking they're his aides, helping him to make decisions. It all gets to their heads. And then Jesus throws some challenging stuff. He says, the Son of God must die because this ministry is about service to others and about dying. Guess what? They don't want to hear that statement. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to die. They want to thrive. They want to get somewhere so they can be visible, right? So others can admire them, right? So it's almost like they're walking with Jesus so they can take selfies with Jesus. Look, I have a selfie with Jesus. I was with Jesus. He said, I'm going to do his ministry and you do what I tell you to do. Self-centered, egoistic, narcissistic approach to something that's supposed to be a service to others. Jesus challenges them even more. He grabs a child. And I'm not talking about my child who's got a cell phone, iPad, goes to a private school, is pretty much spoiled to the extreme. I'm not talking about this child. I'm talking about poor, vulnerable, sick, refuge, immigrant, black, neglected, Asian, hungry. This is the child that Jesus talks about. He doesn't talk about this cute looking child. He talks about the child that in this time of the society means nothing. Okay? Today's children, we have all kinds of systems that help them to thrive. At a time, there was no system to help them, even though today's systems fail as well. This little child is an example for the apostles to minister. Yeah. Guess what? Their egos are being challenged. Jesus reminds him, this is the focus of your ministry. This is your real ministry. This is where I want you to be. This is where I'm sending you. So you can die daily serving them. Because in the eyes of the world, it's going to be nothing. Apostle is going to be worth nothing serving the poor, vulnerable children. They're going to have no status. Nobody's going to take them seriously. And this is what Jesus wants for them. This is what Jesus wants for us as well. We have families. We raise children. We all have some sort of ministry to deliver. And changing diapers or struggling is not necessarily seen as a good thing in today's society. We are still being challenged as parents. Everybody's watching us how we do things. We don't get recognized besides that cute little poster on the refrigerator saying, I love you, mommy, I love you, daddy, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle. This is our recognition. This is how much we get back for what we do or what we sacrifice. Here's another challenge that I want to offer today. How about we go and embrace that child that's given to us today, this poor, vulnerable child. More to that, how about we go and embrace ourselves as the struggling, poor child. We all have our inner child within us. Things that we struggle with that are still very immature. Or things that we can't talk about. Things maybe we don't want to talk about or bring out. You know, 4 years ago, my inner child, my challenge was to quit drinking. That was my challenge. And I did. October 10th is going to be my 4th anniversary when I quit drinking. That was a child I was ashamed of. My problem, my struggle with drinking. I was ashamed of it to the point where I became like an apostle. I was proud of it. I was a functioning alcoholic and I was perfect. Egocentric, narcissistic, you think? Bunch of crap. That's what I was. But I needed that change. I needed to go to the middle of the room. I needed to be exposed to touch myself with this child. Even though the rest of the society probably didn't care about me or said, why would you do that? You're Polish. It's in your DNA. Maybe it is. I don't want it in my DNA anymore. The same focus of ministry is in our marriages, in our families. When we deal with other people, those who are given to us in life, who comes and people who come and go, we still minister to them. And we don't get rewards. Not necessarily, all the time. So here was a challenging question that Jesus asked me to ask you. Not really. I didn't take a selfie with Jesus, so apologies. He's asking us today how, as a community, as a church, we are being the servants. How are we ready to die in order to serve those who are loved by God and given to us? And all sorts of ministries. You name them. Another question is, where do our conflicts come from when it comes to our community? I have an answer. I know those conflicts come because we argue about how we're going to minister to those vulnerable and poor children. I'm nice today. I'm giving you the answer right away. I hope the arguments come because we argue about our ministry to others, not about our sick egos of who we are, where we came from, or what we represent. It's a challenge. Don't stone me for that one, sorry. I had to say it. This is the challenge today, because we are all apostles. We journey with Jesus, it gets into our heads that we are Christians, we're the best, but we see refugees, we don't want them. It is a challenge for me because I'm Christian, I'm Polish, and the refugees are coming towards Poland. It's challenging for me because I have to change my whole thinking about how I grew up, what I was taught, and what I was told. It is a challenge constantly for all of us to minister to those who are abandoned, forgotten, not recognized, because it doesn't give us any status. We're pretty much servants, and this is our call. So the focus of our ministry is the love of others. Amen.